It's going to be a busy week because the transfer window closes. A couple of games as well. Chelsea on Tuesday night. This is the 7:45 kickoff. Steve, one of the games to forget from last season, really. Bit of a heavy defeat. What are you expecting on Tuesday? Hopefully not another 6-0.
Well, no, I'd hope not. I mean, certainly given Chelsea's performances have been a little bit iffy. I mean, they were very good ironically, very good against Spurs in the game they didn't win. But the games they have won, I mean, I've seen that, saw the Everton game, and I've seen kind of highlights from yesterday against Leicester, and they've been a little bit ropey. You kind of look at Chelsea, you just think there's something not quite right there. But I'm not sure anybody's able to quite put their finger on exactly what it is. I mean, Tuchel's system seems to have a complete sort of aversion to any concept of a centre forward, which can work in certain games. But I think there are a lot of games, I mean, particularly against the weaker sides in the division, where you just need a good number 9 who's gonna put the ball in the back of the net when you create plenty of chances for them. And they've got rid of both Lukaku and Werner, which, I mean, for us is great because both of them absolutely love playing against us.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a bit of a conundrum, Chelsea, at the moment. And I think, I mean, that while they should still be there or thereabouts in the league, I do wonder whether they may have slipped behind certainly Spurs and maybe even Arsenal at this stage.
That's going to hurt them, isn't it?
Yeah, massively.
Glen, what are you expecting from Tuesday? What have you made of Chelsea's start to the season?
Much the same as Steve's. That's what Steve said. They've been very, very strange. He seems to be trying to shoehorn players in where you wouldn't necessarily expect them to be. Reece James is, in my opinion, the best right wing back in the country, and they want to play
careful. The Scousers will be after you.
I don't care. They play him at right centre back, and they play Ruben Loftus-Cheek over there, and that's not. You wouldn't have thought that was his game. I know Conor Gallagher he's not going to play, I assume, because he got sent off the other day. But you know, he's not the sort of player that would normally get a game in Chelsea's midfield. It's been much stronger in recent years, and as Steve said, the issues up front. Havertz looked a very good player at the end of last season, but he hasn't been firing so far this season. Sterling can be brilliant. He can also be awful. So I don't really know what to expect from Chelsea. One thing we can expect: Mason Mount will play well, despite not playing well against anybody else. He always plays well against us.
No.
But yeah, so again, I'd like us to go into this game believing we can win it, and hopefully not scarred by the 6-0 defeat last year was atrocious. I mean, we did nothing that game. We just turned up and got hammered. That was the game where Werner hit the post twice in a minute, and Ralph didn't change anything until we were 4-0 down or something like that.
Yeah, 4-0 down at half time, weren't we? I think
awful game. So we haven't got a lot to beat in that regard. Not get beat 6-0, but yeah, I mean, a couple of new players, haven't they? That the fullback from Brighton. And they seem to, and Koulibaly, who seems to be I think he's injured now. So the Fofana, I don't think will be with them in time for the game against us. So so I don't really know what to expect from Chelsea. But again, it's another one of the big clubs, and so they're going to be decent. It's not going to be,
won't be easy.
It's not going to be an easy game for us, that's for sure.
And Jacob, it's a quick turnaround these Tuesday night games. So do you think we stick with the same team? Is he's not going to want to change that team that seems to be performing and just starting to click and purr a bit?
I think he should, especially this early on in the season. That they're getting used to the system quicker than I thought they would, especially if they had no preparation pre-season with it. But that's entirely different points altogether. So I just think they need to go with it, keep with the same rhythm. I do want to see more from Elyounoussi, and I thought this for a while. He strikes me as a nice footballer. Like after games, you leave it, you think he's done all right. But there's so many times where he gets himself into good positions and he lets himself down with that final ball. He's not a killer. Yeah. I want him to be one of those number 10s that are just a killer and they can produce things. So there's one moment in the last game where Che did superbly well to back off Martinez, and he wanted Elyounoussi closer to him, and he wasn't there. I just feel the Saints need a little bit more from the number 10 the right wing, wherever you think he
I
plays.
agree.
So
But he did play that absolutely ridiculous through ball for Adams yesterday, where obviously Adams then kind of fell over himself and shanked the shot. But I mean, quite how he threaded it through that gap, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so you can see the talents there. It's consistency. But then part of that is that's kind of why he's playing for us and not someone better.
exactly,
I
there
always
needs to
think
be
with him-
ruthlessness.
Yeah, I always think with him, it's his pace that lets him down. And it's not just the sprint speed; it's the speed he does things. He makes himself a space sometimes, and then just whatever action he's about to do next, be it the pass or dribble somewhere or whatever, just never seems to do it quite quickly enough. Just
Is that where we're back to? And I'm just thinking back to some of the debates and discussions that we had last season, aside from the goalkeeping one, which I think we've now finally solved. The other one we had every week seemed to be about the number 10s, and we were just lacking the quality there. So is that then, Glenn, just what we haven't addressed and what we need to do before Wednesday?
I think so. Yeah, I think with Che Adams sort of showing the form that he's in, if I had to choose between signing a number 10 and the centre forward, I'd probably go for a number 10. But it's a toss of a coin, really, isn't it? Sekou Mara looks promising. Could he play, for example, the role that Elyounoussi played? Would that give us more of an attacking threat? I don't really know with him whether he's more suited to being a sort of wide striker, or is he an up the middle centre forward type? So I don't know. I mean, I felt yesterday that it was the number 10s, if you like, the three of them, Elyounoussi, Adam Armstrong, and Aribo. They all had good moments, but I did feel that they weren't quite at the same level as the rest of the team. And when the substitution board went up straight away, even before I saw the number, I knew it was Elyounoussi going to go off, because I felt like he'd certainly since half time he'd really sort of like gone. So there's still no one really putting their hand up to say, this is my position and I'm going to keep it for the rest of the season. Whereas elsewhere in the team, we've Bella Kochap has come in and gone, yeah, I'm the man. Lavi has come in, I'm the man.
Yeah,
those number 10 positions there. I mean, Steve said 8 out of the 11 positions have more or less sort of like cemented them. Yeah, for me, it's more or less those three behind the striker that are still up for grabs.
We're still waiting. Well, Jacob, you were the only one to correctly predict a defeat, so you got yourself 1 point, because we'll gloss over Steve's 3-0 to Saints, which on the Monday night was soon dismissed, I think, by the rest of us. So, Jacob, you get the honour of going first for predicting the Chelsea score. So, how do you see this one playing out?
I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think Southampton are going to start off really bright. I just feel perhaps towards the end, Chelsea's strength and depth, their 5 subs off the bench could just ground out Southampton. But yeah, a positive draw, I'd say.
Okay, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was going to say exactly the same. So I'll stick with 1-1 as well.
Stick with the 1-1. Glenn, you going for for the record, I don't think we're going to get much. I think we might lose 2-0. Glenn, what are your thoughts?
Oh, you miserable bunch of people. You
going for the home win?
Oh, I don't know. That's a bit silly, isn't it? Yeah, go on then. Go on then. Let's have a little 2-1 win.
A cheeky 2-1 win. All right. Okay. Nice.